Shay, not Imhotep. This is the Truth May Hurt. My name is Raymond Witcher, and I will be your host. Um, I want to finish up on how I've been focusing on Abraham, and trying to put everything right in order so that if you need to go back to one, this should be right, back to the previous. But hopefully, I think this will probably be the last one for Abraham for a while. Depending on how that's received as far as who it doesn't turn away, or who it doesn't run away, and who wants to come back, things can get very interesting, and we can start to grow, okay? But this is the Truth May Hurt. So a lot of the things that I'm showing you, I know they're shocking. I know that they are challenging everything that we've been taught, told, believed all of our lives, okay? But at the same time, that's what growing is. Growing out of things and growing into things, okay? And what we want to grow into is the truth. So that's what we're focusing on. So this presentation is how the belief Abraham existed has us messed up. Us is all of us. Us is everyone that is following the Abrahamic Faiths, not just Christianity, okay? I'm addressing Christianity because I was a Christian. But there are 3 Abrahamic faiths. That's why I need to focus on Abraham and get everything in a sequential order, or at least organized together, so that anytime somebody wants to review something about Abraham, it's right here. All right. So we're going to look at first of all, let's recall. Okay, we spent a lot of time on Galatians 4, verses 22 to 24, which says Abraham, his family are allegories, and figuratively speaking, or metaphorically speaking, it's a metaphor. Okay, we went through those definitions of what metaphors are and those kind of things. We gave the definition of what figuratively speaking is. We went through the definition of what allegories are. We evaluated who these verses were talking about. My conclusion with the evidence that I've shown you is they're talking about Abraham. They're talking about his wife Sarah. They're talking about Hagar. They're talking about Ishmael. And they're talking about Isaac, okay? So just to recall, okay? I'm not going to spend too much time on the circle because I don't know how much time it's going to really take me to walk you through this. I have some things to show you, and I want to be able to show them to you in a way that hopefully you can see why this is a problem, okay? So we're going to go past this one. We're going to go past the one that explains our ancestors, the one explains our need for spirituality. They sold us religion. They wiped out and removed our spirituality, okay? Our culture, our history, our Africanness. They removed that, okay? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these 2, okay? And we're going to get right into it, all right? All right. How the belief that Abraham existed has us messed up, okay? And we're going to look at, okay, I back in 2 or 3 videos back, when I first started talking about Abraham, maybe 4 videos back, I went back and addressed, after I initially showed Galatians chapter 4, verses 22 through 24, I did a next video showing since Abraham didn't exist, from Genesis 11 through Genesis 25, none of those things happen. All of those chapters are about Abraham, what Abraham did, his sons being born, all of these things. So what we're going to look at now, as far as Abraham, is more addressing the covenants, okay? Keep in mind, they never existed. That's what has us messed up. We're reading this as historical. We're being taught this as historical. These things happen, okay? Well, the evidence that I've been presented and shown you, I know that it didn't happen, okay? So what we're gonna look at, first is Genesis 15, verses 1 through 5, okay? This is when the Lord came into Abraham in a vision, okay? Saying, "Fear not, Abraham, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward." Okay? This is going into establishing the covenant. Okay? And Abraham said, "O Lord, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is Ebenezer of Damascus." So he's telling God, you know, you want to reward me with land, but I don't have a son. I don't have anyone to inherit it. Okay? And Abraham said, "Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is not mine heir. One born in my house is mine heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine heir, but he shall come forth out of thine own bowels, shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, So shall thy seed be. All right. So right here in this vision, okay, that Abram, not Abraham, came unto in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abraham, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. This is in a vision. All right, we already know Abraham didn't exist, but it's in a vision. And God is telling Abraham that I'm going to bless you with a son, and thine heirs shall be greater than the stars in the sky. You see that? Verse 5. And he brought him forth abroad. And he said, Look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto them, So shall thy seed be. You got it? He said, Your seed will spread around the world like the stars in the sky. Got it? Abraham never existed. Keep in mind. All right? Okay. If you've rolled with me this far, keep rolling. All right. Now we're going to go to, we're looking at the sequential order because I try to do things in a sequence. Like I try to do things that are time-stamped, date-related, in the order, so that you can see how this thing is working, how it's built up, how this business plan was put together. And keep in mind, this is a business plan. The Bible is a big part of it. Matter of fact, The Bible is the plan. And that's what I'm showing you. Okay. So we're at Genesis 15, verses 12 through 16. And when the sun was gone down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, not Abraham, Abram. And lo, an honor of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, this is God, now of a, wait a minute, know of a shortly that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Right? We've heard this before. And also the nations whom they shall serve I will judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. This, I'm gonna let you read the rest. Let's see. Okay. This is my point down here. All right. So down here where I say blacks, this is what this verse has done to the blacks' minds, especially here in America, because this is the way I interpreted it, that we are the people that were taken away from our land to a strange land for 400 years. And per these verses, God says that, and also that nation whom you shall serve, I will judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. Abraham never existed. Okay? Now, to really get an understanding of what these verses specifically right here are saying, please go and go on YouTube and search Dr. Ray Hagen's Castration of the Africans. And he is going to reverse word search Genesis 9, I think it's 1 through verses 9. And when he reverse word searches Genesis 9, verses 1 through 9, it tells you exactly what they did right here. When he reverse word searches the English word to the Hebrew word, then I think it's in the which dictionary is that? It'll come to me. When he reverses that to the Hebrew word's definition, the definition changes 100% in these cases to what the definition of the English word is into the scripture. So you should be able to take the Hebrew meaning and insert it to where the English word was and reread it and see what you get. It's telling you that they're going to pull the Africans up by the root from their native land. And it says, take them to an unknown place that they don't speak the language, and to a place that they can never return, to their homeland. They're going to erase everything. Okay? And that's what they did. Okay? That is the business part of the Bible. That's why I need you to go and watch 14 minutes. Okay, I need you to go watch Castrations of America, Castrations of Africans, Castration of the African. All right, and it will explain that. Okay. All right, so that was Genesis 15, 12 through 16. And then we're at Genesis 18 through 21. In that same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed I have given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the Euphrates. Canaanites. Now he's listing all of these people that are the inhabitants of the land from the Nile River, because there's only one river in Egypt, and that's the Nile River. So from the Nile River to the Euphrates River, these are the people that inhabit the land that God is getting ready to take. To get to the descendants of Abraham. Okay, now, like I said, all of these places that he's getting ready to take are in Africa, not the Middle East and none of these things that they changed the name to. It's in Africa. That's why I need you to go and watch Dr. Ray Hagen's The Castration of the Africans, so that you can fully understand this. Okay? Now, let's look at, so that you can get a visual. Yeah, okay. So that you can get a visual. Right? Now, this, let's see. See where I am over here, right? Now, this is Egypt. You see Egypt here? This is the Nile River that runs through Egypt, okay? And I'm pretty sure scripture says that you can look, you can look to the east and the west from the Nile. It says from the river in Egypt to the Euphrates River, you can look east to west, and the land in between is what I'm giving you. So this is the Nile River. This is the Euphrates River. You see here? Tigris River over here. Now I can pull up another map that shows this is Egypt. I think Iran is down here. I think Turkey is up here. I'll see if I can find another. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to take too much time. If I can do it at the end, I'll do it at the end. But I'm showing you the area. I'm showing you the area from the river of Egypt unto the river, the Euphrates. All of these people, I'm taking their land to give to you. Okay? All right? This is the land that he's taken. Now, let me see if I have another map up here. Yeah, I do. Okay. All right, I do. So we can look at this right quick. All right. Egypt is here. All right. I don't think you can see the Euphrates River. Snaps. What happened? Euphrates. This is Egypt. The Euphrates River is over here somewhere. But this is what they're fighting for right now. This is what everyone is killing everybody right now. And if you pull up a map of the biblical area that Jesus was born, if I can do it at the end, I'll do it. But I don't want to make this too long. All of that area, all of this area is Palestine. There is no Jerusalem. You don't even see Jerusalem in here now. You definitely don't see Israel. You can see Gaza. So you know that all of this area from the west to the east is this area that they're killing everybody for. I mentioned that when the Catholic Church started Islam, and the Arab nations told them, screw yourself. You know, we're not going to be in on your plan anymore to take this land. It's always been about this land because of biblical scriptures. And Abraham didn't exist. Okay? And the people that wrote it to take this land, to say God gave me the right to take this land. So let me see. The Arabs believe they are the descendants of Ishmael. The Jews and the Christians believe they're the descendants of Isaac. And you'll see on down in the presentation. So let me get back to it. All right. So, all right. All right. We don't don't need to see that. All right. Well, let's do it back here. All right. Let's get back. Okay. All right. So let's get back down to where we were. Let's go down. Okay. So again, wait a minute. Get to the refrigerator. All right. So this is where we were. We just looked at that. So let's go now to Genesis 16, verses 1 through 4. Now Sarai, Abraham's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abraham, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. Okay, now keep up with this, all right? This is historical for those that believe, but we know it's not, right? And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. This is where jealousy showed up. Okay? Even though Sarai told Abram, go on to my maid, it may be that I may obtain children by her. Okay? Because she couldn't have kids. She was barren. All right? So Genesis 16:15. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. This is the bloodline of Ham. Okay? All right. So, all right, now we're at Genesis 17, verses 1 through 6. And when Abraham was 90 years old, so this is, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. All right, so this is when God had told him he was going to bless him with a son. And the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Well, all right, and then he says, I will make a covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abraham fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be the father of many nations. The many nations is everything they've been going around taking. All right? Neither shall thy name anymore be Abram. This is when he changed his name to Abraham. Remember we did the slide on Abraham and his wife Sarai, and Abraham became Abraham and Sarai became Sarah? Okay, so they changed their names, right? And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee, out of the land of the descendants that God is making this promise with the covenants to a man that never existed, that everybody believes did, because they don't know about Galatians chapter 4, verses 22 and 24. The preachers won't preach that. How the belief that Abraham existed has us messed up. Not black people, all of us. Not white people, all of us. Not Latinos, Africans, all of us. Because Muslims, Christians, and Jews all believe. They're the descendants of Abraham. They're killing everybody about it. All right. All right. This is where the Arabs believe. Get their belief. They are the descendants of Ishmael, born of Hagar, the Egyptian woman. So Hagar is African because she's Egyptian. Keep that in mind. I don't want to spoil it for you. Okay. Now we're at Genesis 15 and 17. And God said unto Abram, hey, now he's Abraham. As for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. This is where she got her name from, Sarati, Abram's wife. Okay, I got to tie this together to show you how they dressed up this well-dressed lie. I'm showing you where they got it from. I'm showing you it came from the Hindu. Everybody just changed their names, is what I'm trying to show you. If you go to, Abram and Sarati came from Hindu. But if you go to Buddha, you're going to find the same story, and all they did was change their names. Keep that in mind. Verse 16, and I will bless her and give thee a son also for her. Now, God has already given Abraham his first son, Ishmael, of Hagar. Now he's giving Sarah 14 years later and saying, I'm going to give her a son. Yeah, I will bless her. And she shall be a mother of nations. Kings, people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. Because, see, Abraham's 90. He's 90 years old. Okay? I know you're God and everything, but I'm 90 years old. Okay? He's telling him, and God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after them. So this is the promise that I'm giving an everlasting covenant with Isaac, your second son, not your first son, your second son. Not the one born of the African woman, okay? But the one born of your sister, who's your wife. I guess, genetics count, okay? So this is the everlasting covenant, and with his seed forever, all right? Remember that, all right? It said, Ishmael was born 14 years before. All right, now we're at Genesis 17, 15 through 17. We just did that. All right, so let's go down to Genesis. We're down here. We just did this. All right, Genesis 17, verse 19. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son, indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and the steps. We just did that. Okay, so that's a duplicate. Genesis 22, verses 1 and 2. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham. Okay, this is when he tempts Abraham. Now, I did a previous presentation where I went through Genesis 11 through 25, and I just pulled verses of these things to just say, hey, none of these things happen. But I'm trying to do these in sequence that apply to the covenant. When I did it in the previous presentation, it was just broad. Okay? This presentation is specifically on covenant. How it was established, how people believe it, and why it has us messed up. It has us messed up because I've shown evidence Then in Galatians 4, verses 22 through 24, they didn't exist. All right. But people take this covenant right here. Oh, it's the covenant. Okay. All right. Let's look at the covenant. All right. Genesis 17, 15 through 17. And God said unto Abraham, for thy wife Sarah, thy wife shall. I think we need to go down to 19. Yeah, we did that. All right, we're down to 17, 19 now. And God said, thy wife Sarah shall bear thee and done indeed. Isaac, we just did 22. 1. That's what we were. All right. And it came to pass after these things, God did tempt Abram and said unto him, Abram, and he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thine only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest. What happened to Ishmael? He says, now take thine only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest. Now, I think a previous few slides back, or maybe after this one, I said, this is where the jealousy and really racism and all, I told you, the foundation of racism is this book. This is from the previous page, all right? So he's going to take him up to the mountain, which I will tell thee of. So he's going to tell him where to take his son. I need to correct something here. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Yeah, okay. Why didn't he, God, okay, all right. So here's my question, here's my comprehensive question for where we have been reading up to this point. God being God, Almighty God, why didn't God, just bless Sarah with a son 14 years ago? Why create all of this mess? 14 years ago, he could have said, Sarah, I'm going to bless you with a son. Abram, worry no more. I'm going to give you and your wife a son or two sons that will be in the covenant and not of the flesh. Because remember, Sarah gave Abram her bondsmaid to marry and have sex with so he could have a son. Look at everything God carried everybody through. That being God, he didn't have to. Okay? So now he's created friction between the father and the son, the two mothers of Abraham's son, and the two sons. All right? Now, you remember when I said Hagar is an Egyptian woman, Abraham is a Hebrew man. How can they have an Arab son? How? Ishmael is who the Arabs say, hey, that's us. You know, hey, we came from Abraham. Abraham never existed. Keep that in mind. All right. Abraham never existed, right? But being in a belief system, people believe it. I believed it until I studied and was shown we got a problem. Okay, we have a big problem, right? Now, let's go to Deuteronomy 21:15 through 17. If a man have two wives. Now here comes the mess. Here comes the mess. Here comes the mess because Sarah threw Hagar out of the house and Ishmael. Okay? Because of jealousy, envy, those kind of things. Okay? Friction. You want to know the international sign for trouble? Two women under the same roof trying to run one household. The high percentages, it's not going to work, okay? Especially on something like this, all right? But here's Deuteronomy 21, 15 through 17. If a man have two wives, one beloved and the other hated. Both of these women were his wives. Both of these women had one of his sons. And they have borne him children, both beloved and the hated. And if the firstborn son be hers, that was hated, then it shall be when he maketh his sons to inherit, to which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed of the firstborn. All right? But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated for the firstborn, and by giving him a double portion of all he hath, for he is the beginning of his strength, and the right of his firstborn is his. All right? So now he's saying that Ishmael is supposed to get double. But he shall acknowledge the son of the hated, which is the firstborn. It's the one of Hagar for the firstborn by giving him. That's how he's going to acknowledge him, by giving him double. That's a problem, all right? Okay. Let me just check something. I think we are pretty much at the end. Oh, wait, I've got to go back. Yeah. All right. Now, we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 45, verses 1 through 7. Okay, because this is all about that land. Okay. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have holden, to subdue nations before him. And I will loosen the lion. I will loose the lion of kings. I will loose the lions of kings to open before him, to level gates. So he's going to knock down the gates, and the gate shall be not shut. He's going to knock them down. God saith, all right, to Cyrus, that I'm going to go before you. I'm going to flatten everything. All right. I will go before thee, and I will make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of brass, and cut in sunder the bars of iron. He's just gonna make a path. All right. Who is he making this path for? Then in verse 4, for Jacob, my servant's sake. All right. Go back to verse 3. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places. Thou shalt mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name, I am the God of Israel. Okay? Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou have not known me. Okay? I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God besides me. Verse 6, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light and create the darkness. I make the peace and create the evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So this is where he's telling Cyprus, go and take this land for Jacob, my servant, and Israel, mine elect. Okay? Right. So this is explaining that God used Cyrus, Persian king, as an instrument to liberate the Jewish people from Babylon captivity by allowing him to conquer Babylon and decree that the exile can return to Jerusalem and build their own temples, essentially using Cyrus' power to fulfill God's plan for his people, even though Cyrus himself was not a follower of Jewish God. This is what the Jews used. Now, if you go and look up when did Israel become a nation, it wasn't until 1948. Okay? If you pull up a map, okay, here's another one. I might, it all depends on how much time I have. I might try to do this before we go. If you pull up on a map, or if you just do a search on when did Israel appear on a map, I think it was 1948 or 1950. You can't even find a map with Israel on it before 1948 because Israel didn't become a state until 1948. You can't find a map with Israel on it. So, where was he talking about Israel? Okay, back one. Okay. And Israel, mine elect. Okay. So, this is when God is saying that the Jews could return to Jerusalem and build their own temples, essentially using service of power to fulfill God's plan. This was never God's plan. This was the elite's plan to take that land. They wrote this book. They wanted that land, and they wanted to be able to say that anybody that goes against us is going against God. Okay? Now, go to Acts 17, verses 24 through 25. God that made the world and all things herein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made by hands. Verse 25. Neither is worshipped with men's hands, all as though he need anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breatheth all things. God said he don't need man to do anything. But he's got these people killing everybody. He's got them taking land from innocent people that have never done anything to Abraham, but couldn't have done anything to Abraham. He didn't exist. You starting to see what I'm trying to show you? This has us messed up, man. It has us messed up. Okay, let me see. Let me check something. 29. try a couple things right quick. Let's try a couple things right quick. Show you a couple things and we're going to get out of here. All right, show you a few things. Come on, come on, come on. Stop. Okay. Israel became a nation in May the 14th, 1948. Okay, I was able to find a couple of maps. I couldn't find the one I really want. The one that I really wanted, when you do a search for what, show the map of what was the area of Jerusalem during Jesus' time, and it shows that was all the land of Palestine. And then I think in the early 1900s, they changed it to another name of Palestine. They put a prefix to it. I can't remember what it was. But as you can see from this map, you don't see Israel on it. Now, this says map of Israel during New Testament times, but the map that I was looking for, it shows all of this is Palestine. All of this is Palestine. And as you can see, there's Galilee is up here, Nazareth is up here. I can't find Jerusalem, but nothing Israel. Here's Gaza here, so we know that this is what everybody's fighting for. Okay, there's no doubt about it. And that's Euphrates River. That's not. You just can't find a map with Palestine on it. Okay, so like I said, this presentation was to show that was the plan of the land, plan of the time all along. So when you really look at the fact that there's a couple things that I've been able to present evidence on, is that the Bible changes all the time. Things are added to the Bible and taken away from the Bible all of the time. I've shown evidence that the rapture was not added to the Bible until year 1830. They know that every 3 generations, I'm in my 3rd generation. I'm in my 60s. So by the time the people get to be in their 60s, that cycle of life is going out, and the people that are just being born are being at generation 1. So when they make these changes in the Bible, the people that would know it are dead in 20 years. The ones that are like Arius was saying, hey man, this ain't right. They lying. They know our clock is running out. So when it comes to making additions and changes to the Bible to name the descendants of Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and all of these people, first of all, the letter J wasn't invented until 1524. So when the Bible is talking about this land is for Jacob, where is it? It says somewhere that this land is for Jacob. I can't remember exactly where it is. Um, how's Jacob going to be in there that God is telling Sirius that he wants him to take this land for Jacob? As a biblical scripture during biblical times, let me see, that came out of, see what that came out of. It came out of Genesis. No, it came out of Isaiah. It came out of Isaiah. It came out of here. Here, Jacob. This is in Isaiah. This is in the book of Isaiah. When did they add this land is for my servant's sake? Jacob. Back in the book of Isaiah. And the letter J was not, it didn't exist. Let me show you. Till the year 1524. When did the letter J come into existence? (1524). The letter J was invented for the Italian language in 1524. It was used in the Roman Catholic numerals, but not just a letter. For J, Jesus' name was Joshua, and God's name was Yahweh. There was no J. There was no J. So how can Isaiah 45 be saying Sirius is taking the land for God's servant Jacob? When did they add this to the Bible? You see what I'm saying? They're not people around, and they know this. They depend on this. All we got you to believe, all we have to do is get you to believe long enough. When you find out the truth, it ain't a doggone thing you can do about it. I'm trying to show you. Abraham didn't exist. Ishmael, Isaac didn't exist. And the descendants of theirs could not have existed. Ishmael, none of them could have existed. Okay? So for me to read this and say it's okay, it's not okay, because this is supposed to be God's unchanging word. Nothing is supposed to be added and nothing is supposed to be taken away. And I'm showing you they do it all the time. And I guarantee you, if you just look, do this and we're gonna go. All right? We're gonna do this and then we're gonna go. All right. Now listen to me. See, this is why it's, first of all, dangerous to believe. Second of all, have the attitude when people try to show you things is, well, don't make any difference because I won't be here. What about your children? What about your grandchildren? You see, we have a 5-year plan. We have a retirement plan. We have plans for tomorrow. We have plans for next week. These people have 50 years. The Project 25, that was a 50-year project. They have 100-year projects, 500-year programs, 1,000-year projects and program plans. They have 2,000-year plans. And look is what I'm trying to show you. The age of Pisces and deception ended in 2012. And look what happened. 16th of February 2023, the New World Religion Headquarters, also known as the Abrahamic Faiths House, officially inaugurated. Open it up so you can read it. Officially inaugurated in February 26th in Dubai. It is an interfaith complex mosque, a church, and a Gulf Arab state first ever purpose-built synagogue. So you know, you've heard of the New World Order. But had you ever heard of the New World Religion? You remember when I did the last presentation about the Inquisitions and how the Inquisitions went into the New World? Well, we are going into a new world order now. And they're showing you that since the story of Jesus Christ, for the last 2,160 years, during the duration of the age of Pisces, they've been making a plan for the age of Aquarius. And they just kicked it into effect right here. A new world order, a new world religion that says, regardless of which one of the Abrahamic faiths you choose, regardless of whether it's Judaism, regardless of whether it's Christianity, and regardless of whether it's Islam, all of you going to heaven as long as you believe in one of these three Abrahamic faiths. Because now they're going to say that both sides of the descendants of Abraham, God's chosen people. And as long as you follow their doctrine, when you die, you all go to heaven. See how dangerous this is? So do your own research on the New World Religion, and you'll see. Matter of fact, here it is right here. All the Abrahamic faiths. One of them is a mosque, one is a church, and one is a synagogue. Okay? Now, what's going to blow up is they're doing this in Dubai. This is in Dubai, Arab nation. That specifically says that anybody that doesn't accept Islam, kill them. They won't let the Christians put a cross on their church. But see, that's just a little minor thing when it comes to what the Quran says, what Allah says. Okay? So I'm just showing you, all right? The whole time we've been sitting around practicing any one of these Abrahamic faiths, believing that the Creator is in their favor and against everybody else. They just scrubbed that because that age has run out. And this is a business. You call it process improvement, whatever you want, but they're going to keep getting that money. And if you don't educate your children, this is what they have for them. If you don't educate your children, not to teach your grandchildren any of these things, keep their money in their pocket, because the time is coming. Well, all of this is going to blow up. It's going to blow up. Right. Push this too long. I think you're getting an idea. Because I'm showing you. I don't care what you believe now. In another 20 years, that's done. That's done. They did not build this Abrahamic faith. They did not build this Abrahamic family house. Listen, there's the whole family. They're not calling it the Abrahamic family house for nothing. It's because now they're accepting everybody in the Abrahamic faith. Now we are one family. It's going to blow up because they hate the Jews. Now, you can imagine Jews going into an Arab nation wearing yarmulkes and the little strings and stuff hanging out the pockets with the little curly hair. Yeah. I'm betting on the Muslims. I'm doubling down on the Muslims. They're not having it. They are not having it. Right? So I hope you're getting somewhat of a picture. And I'm gonna end this because it looks like I'm way over where I wanted to be. But I wanted to show you these things, and I'm gonna say, don't believe me, don't trust me, don't hate me. But all of the other things, are good things. Don't believe me, don't trust me. Take the things that I'm showing you, pray on them in any way that you pray, and ask God to show you the things that you're missing that He wants you to see. Show you what the teachers aren't teaching and the preachers aren't preaching. Okay? To whatever name you call, whatever name you call God. Don't do it to anybody else's God but yours. Ask Him to show you if what I'm showing you is true, so that you don't have to believe it. See, I'm not trying to get anybody to believe anything. If the only thing you can do, what I'm showing you, is believe it, don't do it. Don't get out of a belief system to get on another belief system. Get out of all of them, right? I'm going to say Ashe, and have a great